The Minister for Energy, John Peter Mewu, has told City News initial investigations conducted by the government has established that a document that was presented by the Power Distribution Services as guarantee for the takeover of ECG was forged. The minister explained that even though the document indicated that a company in Qatar had guaranteed for PDS, that same company says it has no knowledge of the said document. Now, government yesterday announced the suspension of the concession agreement with PDS due to these infractions. We have more in this report.
According to government, the investigations into the viability of the financial guarantors of PDS was instituted by ECG. This was after ECG started looking into the documents and raised an alarm. Speaking to City Business News on the issue, Energy Minister John Peter Mewu stated that government will prosecute anyone found to have engaged in the fraudulent act. Meanwhile, Mr. Mewu disclosed that the individual who signed the deal on behalf of the Qatar company has been suspended since the person undertook the action without authorization of the company in Qatar. Leaving an important asset such as ECG in the hands of a company that does not have financial guarantee is a risky move. Already, PDS, after the takeover of ECG, had access to all its installations and financial accounts. But Mr. Mewu insists government has not yet incurred any losses as a result of the takeover.
But I don't think government would have incurred any losses at all. What might rather occur is that PDS, of course, may have undertaken certain activities. But if they do so, and it's found out that in undertaking these activities, what would have mandated you to undertake the activity is not conclusive, then, of course, they are bearing their own cost.
Still on the PDS debacle, a former Deputy Power Minister and NDC MP for Yape Kusau, John Jinapo, is pushing for a termination of the concession agreement rather than a suspension.
I knew that we were going to get to this level, and I kept cautioning government to the extent that I wrote to the president and pleaded with the president to intervene. Indeed, I did not even receive an acknowledgement of receipt of that letter. But as it stands, it means that government is culpable. Because, like I said, this whole guarantee was a condition precedent. When we say condition precedent, it means that you should have put it down. Government will verify, government will be sure before you even start the concession. Government changed the bank guarantee to an insurance guarantee, and then changed the condition precedent to condition subsequent. Once you did that, it meant that you were putting yourself in a very, very precarious situation.
You're welcome back. Now, the Supreme Court has declared as invalid and of no effect the 3 mining leases held by Extin Cubic, the firm owned by Ibrahim Mahama of Engineers and Planners. The court says its decision is based on the company's failure to comply with mandatory statutory provisions of the Minerals and Mining Act and Article 268 of the Constitution. The judges also held that the granting of 3 mining leases to Extin Cubic was in violation of the Constitution and Section 12 of the Minerals and Mining Act, that is Act 703. City News' court correspondent Fred Tete Jabano gives us details of the case.
After several months of arguing for and against the application filed by the Attorney General, the Supreme Court came with a decision today. According to the Supreme Court, yes, indeed, the High Court judge exceeded his jurisdiction and therefore quashed the decision of the High Court judge, giving back the licenses, the 3 licenses, to Extin Cubic. The court also explained that the way and manner in which Extin Cubic got the licenses did not comply with the laws or regulations of the Mining Act. So this went into their decision to today declare as null and void and ineffective the 3 licenses given to Extin Cubic.
Let's move on to some other stories. And the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, says its members would lay down their tools by September 1, 2019, should the Ghana Education Service fail to halt monthly deductions of 10 Ghana cedis from the salaries of teachers.
Now, the GES has introduced an insurance policy which has not been widely received among teachers, as various teacher unions have been kicking against it. Now, NAGRAT at a news conference says the compulsory deductions is an attempt by the Ghana Education Service to bully them.
The president of NAGRAT, Angel Kabuno, wants GES to refund all deductions that have been made against the teachers.
The controversial GES SIC life insurance policy commenced in July this year. The policy, according to the Ghana Education Service GES, is to ensure that all teaching and non-teaching staff have minimum insurance. Thus, a minimum of 10 Ghana cedis is deducted monthly from the salaries of GES employees. This monthly deduction has been met with stiff opposition from teacher unions across the country. The Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, the Concerned Teachers Group, and other unions have constantly kicked against what they refer to as compulsory deduction by the GES without their consent. At a press conference today, the leadership of NAGRAT warned that its members will withdraw their services should GES go ahead with the monthly deductions.
NAGRAT sees the compulsory deduction of premium from teachers who have not applied to be part of the policy in July of 2019 as an attempt to bully teachers.
Some 30 errand drivers, including the driver of the Health Minister, Kweku Agyemang-Manu, were arrested on the Legon bypass today for breaching road traffic regulations. Now, the exercise is part of City TV's ongoing war against indiscipline campaign in partnership with the Ghana Police Service. Majority of the culprits were doctors and lawyers who failed to emboss their roadworthy certificates and insurance stickers on their windscreens. City News' Caleb Kuda has more.
The team arrived at the Legon bypass at 5:52 a.m. This is our fourth time here. Traffic was fluid. There were no arrests made in the first 30 minutes, unlike before. The level of discipline had increased, it seemed. But the first arrest was made at 6:26 a.m. The driver was an immigration officer. Then the second arrest. The driver was a lady who initially sped off in disregard to the command of the police. She was chased, nabbed, returned to the arresting area and processed for court. Many of the culprits had failed to emboss their roadworthy certificates and insurance stickers on their windscreens. Later, the police arrested the driver of the Health Minister, Kweku Agyemang-Manu, with the minister as well as a police officer in the vehicle.
Some of us should give him some consideration.
So what we can do now is let us process the driver, retain the license, and then after they take you to the office, come back to the office.
Driver! The occupant of this vehicle is the Minister of Health, Kweku Agyemang-Manu. His driver has been processed for court because he's using a strobe light. So far, that is what we know.